In a quiet suburban neighborhood, families went about their daily lives trying to create a sense of community. Children rode their bikes up and down the street, laughter echoing through the warm afternoons. But to the homeowners association, even this simple joy became a problem. One particular family had two young children who loved leaving their bicycles near the front porch after school. The bikes were never in anyone's way, and the yard was clean and well kept. Yet one morning, an official notice appeared on their door. The HOA had issued a fine, claiming the bikes violated community standards by being unsightly clutter. At first, the parents brushed it off as a misunderstanding, but within days, the letters escalated. Each notice carried a heavier fine than the last. The HOA threatened further action, warning that continued violations could lead to legal consequences, even liens against the family's home. What was once a peaceful neighborhood now felt hostile. Other families began whispering about similar treatment. Small toys, garden decorations, even flower pots had triggered fines. It became clear the HOA board was targeting homeowners over the pettiest of issues, using intimidation as their weapon. The family felt cornered, but they refused to let this pettiness strip their children of simple joys. Instead of giving in, they decided to fight back. They contacted an attorney, gathering every letter, photo, and fine as evidence. The lawyer studied the HOA's bylaws and quickly spotted something the board hadn't expected. Their rules were vague, outdated, and in many cases, legally unenforceable. With this discovery, the family finally had hope. And as the case built momentum, the HOA had no idea the storm that was about to hit them. The lawyer wasted no time. Every threatening letter, every fine, and every photograph of the children's bikes was carefully organized into a case. The family's attorney drafted a formal response to the HOA citing state, property laws, and federal housing protections. What the HOA had labeled as unsightly clutter was, in reality, nothing more than normal family life, something the board had no legal authority to punish. When the HOA received the response, their confidence cracked. Instead of intimidation, they now faced the risk of a lawsuit that could expose their misuse of power. The attorney demanded the immediate cancellation of all fines, reimbursement of fees already paid, and an official review of the HOA's conduct. At first, the board tried to push back. They called emergency meetings, sent out defensive letters, and attempted to rally support from other homeowners. But the tide had already shifted. Once the family's situation became public, other residents stepped forward with their own stories of unfair fines and harassment. It was no longer a single complaint, it was a pattern of abuse. Fearing a class action lawsuit, the HOA folded. They quietly withdrew the fines, issued written apologies, and agreed to cover the family's legal expenses. But the damage to their reputation was irreversible. Residents who had once been too afraid to speak now demanded accountability. Within months, the board members who had enforced the petty rules resigned under pressure. The family didn't just protect their children's right to ride bikes in peace, they changed the balance of power in the neighborhood.